one of the biggest blocks that a lot of us have when it comes to our, those big dream goals, particularly whether it's, music related, singing, performing, creating, or, starting that venture, that business, one of the blocks is this idea of I need something like in order to start that. Meaning like it could be you need certain equipment, you need space, you need time, and it's this perception that you don't have those things yet to fulfill this goal. Therefore, it kind of stops you in your tracks. So listen, I'm definitely prone to this thinking. I don't think anyone particularly, maybe the Dalai Lama is immune to it. It happens to the best of us. So this episode is actually going to be about this. Breathe and sing and love yourself. Breathe and sing and fear will find its way out. G'day, welcome to Episode 16 of the Fearless Singer podcast. We're in season 2, and talking about seasons, it's been a particularly hot one here in Brisbane. Oh my God, I've never been so grateful in my life for air conditioning, and I only just got air conditioning put into my room. So honestly, that is a debt that I'm quite happy for, and it's saved my life this week. So this idea of we have everything we need. This is the affirmation for the week. This is your sign that you have everything you need. And I'm going to tell a little bit of a story. So this episode, I'm just going to delve into some, maybe TMI. I'm a pretty open book, as you know. I'm going to tell a personal story on how I, came to realize how freaking true this statement is, and how I've also, with this shift in perspective, this shift in perception, same thing, isn't it? Same word, really, is literally a miracle, because it made me realize that I had things already that could be repurposed that is going to create more opportunities for Fearless Singer, more growth, great, services for fellow singers and instrumentalists. And from a very practical point of view, generate me more income as well, and help me pay rent. So this is what this statement did for me, basically. So I'm going to take you back a couple of weeks ago. I was feeling very into the lack, of things aren't happening fast enough. I just was fully invested in, lack mindset and energy, and was feeling pretty defeated. And I was with one of my friends. We're walking to a gig. And then I came across this beautiful mural, which was painted onto, like one of those little energy boxes around the city. And it said, "You have everything you need." And I was like, oh my God, thank you. It literally snapped me out of a bit of a mental loop, actually. So it served as a pattern interrupter. And it made me reflect and go, okay, well, I do, don't I? I do have everything I need. Like I literally, on a very, again, practical level, I'm here with a friend. We're about to go and see music. What an incredible life that is to be able to do that. And not only that, I've got lots of people like this in my life, who are just honestly some of the most beautiful humans that I know, whether, they're my students, my family friends, my, part of my community here in West End. I'm just surrounded by such beauty in the form of other human beings. It's incredible. And then on top of that, I just kept it honestly, it snowballed. So once you start changing that pattern and you start finding the evidence of what you actually have in your life, it has a snowball effect. And you can even start small. You can go, well, I've got my cat. That's not small. Gosh, I hope Basie wasn't listening to that. He's like literally the love of my life. But starting even smaller would be like, somebody shouted me a rice paper roll today. That was a bit of a random one. Or for instance, the other day, one of my gorgeous students brought in some, the cat grass for Basie. It's like just sort of thinking about those little kind gestures or little moments. Maybe somebody made you a cup of tea and it was a particularly good one. And then you can start from there. And honestly, it will have a snowball effect. But this is what happened. I just got rampaged by all these beautiful thoughts and feelings about what I have in my life. Gosh, I live a life that is just full of good music, good people, incredible experiences. And then it shifted me out of that space. And then a couple of like cool little things started to happen, started to pop up. So just on a very monetary level, I got someone paid me for an invoice. Then something else happened. I got offered another opportunity. And so I was like, okay, there's something to this, this idea of like getting out of that lack state, which by the way is an illusion. It's all an illusion, so and it did took that slight change in perspective to break that illusion. And then after that, I came home. I had an empty room. So here at Phyllis Singer HQ, which is also my home, I teach in this front room. And also there's this other big room at the back. And I was like, how am I going to fill this? Because it's such a big space. I don't have the furniture. And I started going back into that, again, that lack mentality again. And then I decided, I'm just going to write down on a piece of paper, like what it is that I actually need. And I said, thank you, universe. Thank you for bringing me these things. And it was a rug, a bookcase, all things to make it feel cozy. A keyboard, because I want to hire it out to other instrumental teachers, a PA, and just, I started writing everything down what I needed. And it was just literally, I stood up and went, oh my bloody God. Like this, and I know this is going to sound insanely privileged, so please forgive me. But it's just amazing how you get so locked into ideas of how things are meant to be or look like or what you think you need in one space. I looked up and I was like, mate, you have 3 friggin' keyboards. Like, what are you? Who are you? Are you Liberace? And I was like, oh my God, of course. I could just put one of my keyboards in there. Like, how ridiculous. Anyway, I also giving myself a bit of love now too, because, you do feel a little bit silly. Like, oh. And then I just looked at my space and I was like, you don't need this bookcase in here. Like, so I had this big bookcase in my space, but actually it looks so much better in the second room. So it fills it up, and I've gone and neatly ordered all the, all the music books. So I know exactly where things are, where the jazz theory books are, the piano books, the vocal books. And then I was like, and actually you don't really need this big mat in this space. So I put the mat over there. So now that space just looks $1 million. I also had a PA that I didn't need to use. I had literally 2 PAs in this one room. So I whacked that over there. So now it is literally a fully fledged music teaching studio. It's actually multi-purpose. So Harvey Blues, he plays guitar. He's an incredible guitarist, and he's been on the podcast as well. So he teaches from that space. But I honestly, I feel like anyone, it's a great space, even if you wanted just a little working space or an office just for a few days. That's there. So, and it's fully air conditioned as well. This isn't a pitch, by the way. So look, just from shifting my perspective from I don't have the things that I need, and literally really realizing actually exactly what that sign said. You have everything you need. And it's just opened up so much possibilities. I'm doing a song circle event tomorrow night for the full moon. And now I've got like a really big, beautiful space here now where we can all sit in a circle because it's not cluttered with furniture. Again, like any other workshops, I've got like workshop ideas are just flooding in. So in-person workshop ideas, and also streaming them online. And yeah, like I said, like it opens up this space for expansion in the Fearless Singer community where we can come together and meet. So, honestly, it's been such a revelation. But just coming back to this idea of not starting something because we think we need something, like this external thing. It's like, actually sit down. If it's time that you feel like you need, sit down and say, okay, well, look, do you think I could fit 10 minutes of singing practice in a day? 10 minutes of showing up for my voice? Because, if you do start small, it's actually ideal. It's just ideal to do a bit of 10-minute, vocalizing. And when you're going through looking for music on Spotify, like create yourself a folder that's just for you, the artist. So like start to kind of, if you're going to be doing things anyway, use that time to be spending time with yourself as the artist. While you're cleaning your house, do you have the capacity to put some headphones on and listen to some music that you think you might want to learn? Do you know what I mean? So it's like finding those opportunities. Sometimes we don't have the luxury of going, right, I'm going to schedule this in and it's a non-negotiable, because our days may vary. So it's like, even though I said, it's like I'm going back on what I said last episode about scheduling and time. Look, it is very, very helpful, but that's not going to work for everybody because the nature of our day may change from day to day. So, maybe for you, it is about just getting those little pockets. And yeah, doing a time audit as well. Just going, okay, well, all right, how am I prioritizing my time? What am I spending most time on? Like, just keep a little record for a week of what you do, where your time goes. Like a little bit like you do for your spending. And then come back and go, right, well, okay, I do a lot of that. Actually, wait a minute. Do I even need to do that? Could I outsource that to one of my, I don't know, nieces or nephews or son or daughter? Could I pay them like $20 to do all the washing every week? I don't know. Kids these days might be asking for more than $20. But, just think, okay, I'm doing a lot of that. Do I need to be doing that? Could I pay somebody to do it? Or am I able to ask somebody to help me out and do it? Or is it I'm doing a lot of mindless scrolling? And there's no judgment in that, by the way, when I say that, because I will catch myself out doing the mindless scroll as well, particularly when I'm eating. So, maybe it's like, okay, well, yeah, according to Apple statistics, I have spent 6 hours on my phone this week. Maybe, I could cut that down by an hour, and I'm just going to invest that hour for the week in, whatever is the goal. Like I keep talking about singing, but it might be completely different for you. It could be about creating a business. I've heard a lot of people talk, business, very successful business owners, entrepreneurs, that said they started off with doing just 10 minutes of business stuff a day. And that could look like listening to a podcast that's going to help you, or it could look like, starting a Facebook page for your business, or a MailChimp account, to send out your newsletters. So yeah, the time is there. The lack of the time is the illusion. So coming back to that idea of, okay, well, and getting a snapshot of what's actually happening to go, it's like, I can move this around, or I could do this, so that I can really value myself and value these beautiful dreams that I have and honor them and start carving out a little bit of time for it. So, yeah, lack is an illusion. And you need expensive equipment to be a musician or a singer. You can start off with the bare minimum. Facebook Marketplace is fantastic to see, like, all these secondhand keyboards. I always recommend singers having a little keyboard because piano skills, I believe, are a must for us. Because it's a way of visualizing, the notes that we pluck out of the air. So, looking at Facebook Marketplace, like asking your family and friends, putting a call out saying, hey, does anyone have a keyboard that they're not using I could lend for a little bit, I could borrow? Like if there's if the funds aren't there right now to get those things, ask around. People, there'll be so, honestly, it's amazing. I'm, by the way, only learning the art of asking only now. It still is like, I still have to work hard at it because I like to try and pretend that I've got everything under control. But yeah, sometimes it's easy as asking, and then you will get those things given to you, by, like I said, just put it out there, write it down, write down a list of the things that you want the universe to provide for you for those goals. Maybe it could be like help building a website, and maybe like, your sister's son or daughter might have the time to sit down and help you create a website. Do you know what I mean? So just write down what those things are that you need, and I'm telling you, the universe will deliver it to you. And in my case, it was like within seconds. I just was so locked in that thinking I couldn't even see what I actually had in my own bloody room. So yeah, it's huge. You have everything you need. And look, this is a big one. There's a lot to unpack here, because sometimes when we're blocked, when we can't see the things that we have, there's, there will be some underlying shame and unworthiness there. So it's worthwhile doing a little dig, a little excavation as to, why did I not allow myself to have that thing? Where does that come from? And, you can use tools, pattern interrupting tools like EFT, emotional freedom technique, or you can journal it out. Also, there's so many beautiful mindfulness exercises that can snap you into more of an altered state where you can make new suggestions relating to that. So replace those statements of unworthiness with statements of worthiness. Anyhow, I'll leave it there. But yeah, you have everything you need right now. And please let me know what stood out to you in this episode. I love hearing from you. I really do. I love the emails. I love the messages on Instagram. And I'd love to know what you're working on as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. And also too, if you have any questions, please let me know. All right. Talk to you soon. Take care.